South Africa has the biggest HIV epidemic in the world. 7.2 people are living with HIV in this country. The adult prevalence is close to 19%. Now, basically, that means nearly 1 in 5 people between the ages of 15 and 49 are living with HIV. Well, the ANC national spokesperson, Pule Mabe, has written a letter to the president calling for South Africa to stay on its currently progressive path. He joins us in studio now. Pule Mabe, thank you for being with us, Pule. So it still is strange when for some people when an ANC member writes to the president that the ANC is deployed to be there. What is your message? Why did you write the letter in the first place?
Well, thank you very much, and let me start by greeting your viewers. Well, it was important to pen Dear Mr. President and effectively call on all South Africans to get tested and to know their status. One did this to highlight the importance of awareness, but to also encourage all of our people to know their status. Because when our people know their status, it is quite easier to determine the kind of preventative mechanisms that they need, the sort of care that is required and all of that. But also when you know your status, you also allow government to take informed steps on the kind of whether it's facilities that need to be rolled out to provide for that kind of care.
So we had a target that 90% of people would know their status. Yes. And I understand we're basically there in the high 80s. So yes, this doesn't seem to be the issue anymore. Why are you focusing on that?
It is because remember that the ultimate goal is to ultimately achieve zero infections. Because when you have achieved zero infections, you are able to then focus your people on the developmental trajectory. For instance, there is a great prevalence of HIV and AIDS amongst economically active individuals. This goes against the spirit of the National Development Plan, which required a skilled population so that the sort of developmental issues that are articulated in the policy are achieved. But
my question is, why are you focusing on knowing your status? Because it seems to me the problem is that 90% are already aware of their status, of which only 68% of those are in HIV treatment.
Yes.
That is the issue, treatment.
Well, one of the things that is quite encouraging is that the UN-AIDS has commended South Africa to have one of the largest antiretroviral program. Currently, there are about 4.2 million South Africans who are on that kind of a program. And what it does...
But, Pule, there are 7.2 million people living with AIDS, so that means 3 million people are missing. Why aren't you chastising the president? We've got 3 million people who are not on antiretrovirals.
That's why it is important that as we move forward, we begin establishing the sort of support mechanisms that are required, raise the sort of awareness levels that is necessary to consolidate, because you can't renew a country when your people are not healthy. You need a healthier population so that you could be able to drive forward a program of renewal, you could be able to drive forward growth. But most importantly, I mean, we come from families, we grew up in townships, in villages, where we know of people who would have succumbed to the disease. So we say know your status as part of raising the levels of awareness in the country.
Do all the ANC leaders, have all ANC leaders been tested publicly? Do they know their status? Well,
that is what our leaders do all the time. I mean, for instance, I can tell you now.
I'm saying, have you made sure that all the leaders have done it?
It's a responsibility that we do all the time. I'm trying to give you a simple example. At Lituli House, during our own open days, what we do, those of us that are employed there full time, we do voluntary testing. It's encouraged. I mean, we do it all the time. The reason why it must be done is because we want to show the public that we too are responsible, that the sort of policies that we advance and articulate for are the ones that we believe in. But also, we also want to deal with the question of stigma. You know, very often you find that people who are living with the disease in the past have been stigmatized. You know, so we are trying to drive a message forward that this disease knows no morals. It doesn't go or attack a certain breed of individuals. Anyone in a country, whether they are people of high morals, could also succumb to the disease.
So again, you're not focusing on treatment. Is the fact that 3 million South Africans are not on treatment a tragedy to the ANC?
Well, not just to the ANC, it will be a tragedy to any society. That's why we are saying that make sure that we have got a consolidated program on awareness. We want to renew our nation. We want to unite our people. That is the program that the African National Congress is driving. We wrote an open letter to dear Mr. President. We outlined the strides that the ANC-led government has done, including increasing on life expectancy, including their program on mother-to-child transmission, including the program on antiretrovirals, and the fact that what this has done is that it has been able to consolidate and allow us to search on in terms of fighting the scourge. But also, we need, again, we can't overemphasize this point. We need people to know their status. We need our people to be faithful, to stick to one partner, and where possible, to condomize as well.
Pule, has the ANC looked back under Thabo Mbeki? There was AIDS denialism across government. Hundreds of thousands of people who could have been saved were not. Some would say it's genocidal. Has the ANC looked back at that and thought of ways to make amends or deal with that and those families that lost loved ones?
Well, I wouldn't even want us to go back there. The fact that life expectancy has improved, the fact that the prevalence of HIV and AIDS amongst youth, young persons between the ages of 15 and 24 has gone down, and I mean this is recorded. I mean you moved from just over almost 300,000 to just under 120,000. So this is significant progress. But also you are being commended by world bodies on the sort of programs that you are carrying forward. But also we have ensured that almost all our health facilities
I agree. We've made huge strides. We've made huge strides, and South Africa is catching up in a way. But can we sit here and talk platitudes about success now when that era, that has not been dealt with fully? Hundreds of thousands of people were not treated under the ruling ANC.
Well, I wouldn't want us to be going there. The fact that we in the African National Congress are able to come out, acknowledge where we feel that there has been downsides in terms of our own strategic interventions, but call again. I mean, it is us. We are making a call to the president. It is us who are making a call to government. We are making a call to the ANC-led government. We are saying we acknowledge the progress that you have made, but we believe that more can still be done to try and address the scourge. And we are saying the overall program must be to ultimately achieve zero infections.
All right. Thank you for your time this evening. That was the ANC's national spokesperson, Pule Mabe. We take a short break. We'll be back with more news. Stay with us.